Okay, earlier this Black History Month, we brought you Jay Cameron, the gentleman down here. He came in to talk about Black history before America, and he promised to come back to teach us about how African cuisine has influenced American food. So he's back, and he brought his chef, his son, Jason Cameron.
Hello.
Welcome. Okay, so we talked a lot about maybe the cultures and everything that came over from Africa that really is influenced.
Yes.
But you're saying food is a big influence.
Oh, food is a big influence, and what we'll look at over here is coffee, okra, black-eyed peas, and something interesting that we all love, cocoa.
Cocoa.
Cocoa, chocolate.
Huge in Africa.
Huge. Okay. Ivory Coast and Ghana are the number one and number two, respectively, the producers of cocoa in the world. And so what ended up happening when I went to Ghana in 2018, as I shared before, I started tasting this rice in West Africa, and it was in Ghana. It was this jollof rice, and it had this familiar taste. And I said, wait, this really tastes familiar. It tastes like something I'm used to. Now, I was born in Charleston, South Carolina, raised in D.C. I said, this tastes like red rice. And I said, I have to find out if there's a connection. So there is a historical connection to it where during the colonial times, or during slavery, they would go to the west coast of Africa, in particular Sierra Leone and Guinea, and that's where they would get the enslaved and bring them to the east coast of Charleston and Savannah. I was born in Charleston, and I said, this rice is so familiar.
Right.
And so this is what we did was we created, and Chef Jason did it, and keep your eyes and ears open for him. He's going to be doing big things. Jollof rice and red rice, and you can look and see the similarities. They're both tomato-based rices, and as you see here with Jason demonstrating, many of the ingredients are similar. And so, you know, they have competitions in West Africa. So you have Sierra Leone, Liberia, Nigeria,
Who makes
Ghana.
the best jollof rice?
Absolutely. And you can make it so many different ways. In particular with jollof, like in Sierra Leone and Liberia, they have meat in theirs. Whereas like in Nigeria and Ghana, it's not as much meat, but they do have meat in it. But the competition is serious, and so there's a big debate on who has it. But this is just one influence right here. There's even jambalaya has some influence. It's a Spanish, West African influence there, and so you begin to see this. So Jason, tell us a little bit about what you have.
What have you put in there so far?
So right
Jason?
here, I have the shallot, onion, sausage, and celery.
Okay.
First, we just mix it up. And then we would
steaming all that together.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we would add, of course, the tomato base for both the dishes.
What was it like for you and your dad together to kind of investigate the connections?
It was pretty good because it was good seeing the two similarities between the two rices, one having the meat in it and then one having majority vegetable.
Well, and you know, we eat these foods sometimes and we don't think about where it originated from or how it evolved into what it is. So I love that the two of you together kind of investigating this and to tactically see, you know, wow, this was such a huge influence from Africa, from our history, and this is what we enjoy today.
And that's exactly what I did, because he has a skill, and I wanted to see how skilled he was. I said, now if you can make red rice.
Put you to the test.
And I tasted it, authentic. And then I tasted the jollof, and he took it to some of his friends who are from West Africa. And as he said, they crushed it. That's how they crushed it. They enjoyed it.
You know, it's good.
So
Absolutely.
he knew it was authentic.
All right, Jason, I'm going to let you finish this. But Jay, you have been all month. You've got some great tidbits and bits of information for people to know for Black History Month. Where can we go to find more about that and more just about the influence and connection?
Absolutely. MaximumImpactSuccess.com is where you can get 29 free Black history facts before slavery.
And I love that we've got dad and son in the kitchen. This is amazing. So thank you guys for being here. Nothing like dad embarrassing his boy. All right, we'll be back with more after this. Thanks, job, Jason.
The University of the District of
This trip has meant a lot for me, especially growing up as a kid. I always went to all black schools, so we always learned to like embrace our heritage and know who we are as people. So I think just coming here reminded me of what I learned as a kid and being in that school. And since I'm going back to that school to teach in the fall, now I get to take that back and I get to actually instill it into my kids as a people, because we don't know who we are, where we came from technically. So I think being able to take that back to my kids and like show them examples that they can actually use in their life and just be proud of themselves. I think it's important to come here to really change your mindset about the world around you. I feel like my age group, I guess, is stuck in like ourselves. Like we're social media and all that. We're always stuck in our own little bubble, our own little world. And we're so self-centered. And I feel like coming here makes you think of others and how, I don't know, just people around the world and how the world works in a different way than just it being about you. I think last thing, I think just everybody should just come at least once, and every part is different. Like not all of Africa is exactly the same. So I feel like definitely come more than once, but at least come once.
All right, welcome again to the Travel Summit, the Africa Travel Summit. My name is Jay Cameron. I am the founder and CEO of Maximum Impact Enterprises, where we emphasize travel, education, and so much more. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to be talking about Ghana, Egypt, and an add-on, a special add-on for Togo and Benin. But I know many of you are interested in what we're going to be talking about. Last night we were talking about Kenya and South Africa, Zambia, Zimbabwe. Tonight we're talking about Ghana, Egypt, Togo, Benin, and how you can go. But not only how you can go, some interesting facts about these different places on the continent of Africa. And what we do here at Maximum Impact is our emphasis is bridging the gap between Africa and the African diaspora, because the narratives have been so skewed over the years that many of us don't know what to believe about Africa. If we think it's dry and desolate, everybody's sick, everybody's poor, everybody's in need of rescuing and saving from us, all kinds of narratives. But now what we're here to do is tell the story from a broader perspective, a more mature perspective, and in a way where we can have a broader perspective about the continent of Africa and even ourselves. And that's one of the things that I'm excited about sharing over these days. Over the next several days, we're going to continue talking and giving everyone the opportunity to learn more and more about the continent of Africa. But before we get into that, it's time for the roll call. All right, I want to know where you're representing from. I saw y'all jumped in the chat real early. And when you jumped in the chat early, that meant that you were ready. So let's see here. Oh, I see Philadelphia. I see Philly. I see the DMV. I see Fredericksburg. All right, come on. Where else are y'all? Where else are y'all from? Let's see. All right, I see. Okay, New York. There you go. Now, what part of New York? Miami, Delaware. All right. Maryland. ATL. I saw somebody said, I'm back. Duluth, Tennessee. McDonough, Georgia. I love it. Cali. All right. Is it Chandler, Arizona, Alabama? Come on, y'all. Let me find out. We have like almost all of North Carolina represented. Is it B More, Washington State? We might cover all of the Elliott. All right, what's going on, Elliott? Representing H-Town. I'm thinking we might get all states in here tonight. Rochester, L.A., Indy. I mean, for real, we are covering a lot of territory on these. Oh, yeah. No, oh, someone said Florida, unfortunately. Don't worry, we have a solution for that. That's why we're here. We are here to solve the problem that's in Florida, but it's really not just Florida. It's actually all over the United States. And so Florida just put the spotlight on it, but we're going to break all of that stuff down, and we're going to start educating ourselves. Sacramento, Chi-Town. I was waiting on Chi-Town. That's what I'm talking about. Brunswick, Oklahoma. I'm for real. We're about to hit all 50 states. Now, if somebody comes in with Hawaii and Alaska. Look, Jersey in the house. Look what's going on out here. We have had Wisconsin. Come on, y'all. What is going on? This is funny. Well, I want to say this, and I'm excited for everybody who's tuning in and joining us. And hey, Keisha from Maryland. All right. For everybody who's tuned in and joining us, I want to cover a couple things on the front end of this. You're gonna learn a lot about. Wait a minute. Let's see. Cleveland, Tennessee. I know some folks from Cleveland, Tennessee. That's right, Cleveland, Tennessee. So, this is really cool because I'm always excited to share. And many of you probably, if this is your first time watching one of these info sessions, travel summits, if this is your first time, put a 1 in the chat, please. If this is your first time, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. If this is your second or more than, let's say this is your second or more than second time, put a 2 in the chat. Love to know how many people. All right, a lot of ones. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I see the ones coming in. All right. Boogie Down Bronx, Mount Vernon. All right. We got a lot of 2s in here, a lot of 2s. All right. A lot of 1s, a lot of 2s on the 1s and 2s. Excellent. Hey, Michelle, what's going on? Veteran. A max impact veteran. All right. What's up, Aisha? All right. 2+. I see. I see the whole family. Y'all see, I see all the veterans coming through. That's what I'm talking about. Excellent. All right. Well, I'm so excited to see everyone again as we have these travel summits, and this is really indicative of who we are. So let me do the preliminaries, and then we're gonna get into the meat of everything. I got some exciting things to talk about and share with you. One, what is MIT, Maximum Impact Travel? We are much more than travel. We're actually about bridging the gap between Africa and the African diaspora. That's why we're not just introducing or sharing trips with you. We are sharing travel experiences, and these experiences are creating lifelong memories. And as you see many of the pictures and you'll see in many of the videos exactly what we do. Some of you have been on our travel experiences, so you know what we do. And then who am I? I'm just this guy that went to Africa a few years ago, and my whole life changed. And as a result of that, I started sharing the message with so many people all around the world. Been awarded afforded so many opportunities because of this. Been featured in Travel Noir multiple times. Been featured on numerous media outlets, international as well as domestic, U.S. domestic media outlets. You saw one just there at the top of the program, and I'm just excited also because I've been to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, seen the world from the tallest freestanding mountain in the world, the tallest mountain on the continent of Africa. Been to Uhuru Peak. I did that, yes, and that's because of how I was inspired by my trip to Ghana. Been to 23 different African countries. A children's book series, I'm going to share that with you in a second. 42,000 plus YouTube subscribers. And guess what? If you're not one, make sure you hop over to YouTube right now. Just type in my name, Jay Cameron, and become a subscriber. I'll tell you about that in a second. For those who are wondering what else we do, guess what? We create content for children as well, because we don't want them to grow up thinking the way that we thought. For some of us were educated, well educated. Our parents taught us well, put us in schools that taught us about Africa. But for the majority of us who went to the American education system, we had a negative perspective and an unfortunate perspective of the continent of Africa. So what we're doing to dispel and break down what Florida and other education systems are trying to do, we're creating our own resources. And that's why it's important for you to hop on over to Amazon, pick up the Ultimate Ghana Activity Book. Folks are already doing it. It is a fantastic activity book, as well as South Africa activity book, and Tanzania is on the way as well. In addition to that, we have our Maximum Impact Success Academy. That's coming because instead of us talking about the problem, we're going to be about solving the problem. And we do this multiple ways, of course, through our travel experiences, but also through the educational resources that we offer. So, hey, take a look. I want to take you inside of what is on the way with the Maximum Impact Success Academy, which is going to be an online resource. Take a look at this.
is in the house. Hello, adventurers. Once again, we are in the kitchen. I am Teacher Jessie, and we are doing some awesome things in this kitchen in Ghana. As you can see, I am not by myself. But before we go any further, this maximum impact adventure is parent approved. Meaning we're going to do some real cooking and things in here. And of course, we want you to join us, but make sure your parent or guardian is around because safety is first. Now, you see I'm in the kitchen, but I am not by myself. We have one of the top finest chefs here in Ghana, here to show you a special little treat they like to do. Chef, introduce yourself to the adventurers.
Hi, I'm Chef Kakraba. Today, we'll be preparing a traditional Ghanaian recipe called keliwele. Keliwele is...
What do you think was our greatest adventure, Destiny?
Perhaps when we went searching for gold all over Ghana.
That's what you call adventure? What about the time we had to run for our lives from the mummies in Egypt?
You call that fun? I was so scared, Darren. How is that an awesome adventure?
Because that was better than being caught in the middle of a wrestling match with rhinos.
Yeah, but being in South Africa was so cool. My favorite was the dancing. We did so many cool moves, like the Vaso.
Yeah, in South Africa, we got down. But in Kenya, we got up. Who knew the tribe could jump so high? I felt like I was flying.
See, you don't almost have to die to have fun.
True, true. Remember helping that baby zebra find its family during the safari in Tanzania? Even though we had to run from the lions?
Running from lions might actually help you make the track team.
And oh, who could forget those giraffes and their unique kissing techniques?
Ew! Those tongues? Never again!
Yuck! But think Senegal, that pink lake. Never seen anything like it.
I've never seen anything like the top of Mount Kilimanjaro.
Destiny, you know what I think our greatest adventure might be?
What, Darren?
The one we haven't been on yet.
So are you...
All right. I've been talking about it. So the Maximum Impact Success Academy, it's a universal family academy. We're going to be covering a whole lot of different topics. Obviously, history, reaching our youth, changing the narratives about the continent of Africa. But we're going to be talking about financial literacy, helping our adults get their money in order, entrepreneurship. We're going to be walking that down, as well as life skills, because many of the things they don't teach us or did not teach us in school, we're going to make sure that we learn it so that we can leave a strong legacy and a legacy that can be passed down for many, many generations to come. And guess what? All of this started as a result of one trip to Ghana. So I don't know who has something else up their sleeve, but I know that for me, that's what happened. And all of these different things come about, and you all are invited to be a part of it. Now, before we get into this, I'm going to let you know we got a special offer coming up that's exclusively for you. So just to let you know, that's coming down the pike. And again, just a reminder, make sure that you subscribe to Maximum Impact with Jay Cameron on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all of that at Jay Cameron Official. All right, what to expect today, an interactive experience. That's what's going to happen. And for our affiliates, make sure that you, for those who have affiliate links and for all the affiliates out there, make sure you share your links. And for those who get links, if you're watching, make sure you use that link. If you decide to join us on the continent of Africa, you can use that link that your friend or family member shared with you. Be sure to do that, because that's how they'll get credit as well. So that's a good thing, and that's how we make it happen. Also, just to make sure everybody understands that we curate travel experiences of a lifetime. That's what we do. We're not just here going out and what's the word I want to say? We're not just, it's not a trip. It's an experience. And we put a lot of time and effort and energy into making sure that you have these experiences, because it's one thing if you look at, oh, I'm going on a trip here or there or whatever, but no, for real, it is an experience. And here's what Mr. Tyrone had to say about it.
This is my second trip with Maximum Impact. Thanks to my wife, I made it this far. I've always wanted to visit and be in Africa and visit before I go on. So I did it, and I love it. You know, I can't say I come from here, you know, but in my heart, this is it. Being here makes you see why everybody's relaxed, and that's how I want to be, and try to be.
Used to produce a perfume.
Going to Ghana, coming to Africa, I realize and see the manipulation to me. The way we were taught. I can't say how they were taught here, but they're more relaxed and free versus chasing after something to be something you're not.
All right, my man Tyrone representing Tennessee. That's right, Tyrone and Dolores, they've joined us on a few of our travel experiences. So that is two, I believe, travel experiences. So we are excited about that. No, 3 travel experiences: Ghana, South Africa, and Tanzania. So that is where they joined us, and they are some of our veterans as well. Maximum impact veterans, and quite a few people become maximum impact veterans, and you'll meet some of them along the way. Now, this is something up front I want to tell you. If you have mobility issues, because some people are wondering, I'm going to share with you Miss Ann's story. She joined us in Egypt, and she just left Ghana a couple weeks ago. She just left Ghana, Miss Ann. And so 72 years old, went in the pyramids. You'll hear her story. I'll share that with you. Also, to let you know, some people are wondering if the trips are child-friendly. Absolutely, they're child-friendly. These particular trips that we'll be talking about today, I encourage our young people to join because, again, when it comes to getting the information and the knowledge, we want to make sure that we're able to dispel just the misconceptions, I should say. Not that everything that we saw was inaccurate or untrue. It was just it was skewed. So if all you see are the same images over and over and over about Africa, then you tend to believe that. And that's why many of us are fearful of it. Oh, how many shots do I need? What do I need to do? Oh, what am I going to have to do to go to Africa? They're going to kidnap me. What's going to happen to me in Africa? Ooh. And that's what happens, because the media is so powerful. And if you inundate people with certain images and messages 24/7, they have a tendency to believe it. And then if they label us African American, subconsciously, we might believe some of those same things about ourselves and behave accordingly. And so what I realized in my mind, I'll just tell you like this, my mind was so messed up that I had no interest in even going to Africa. And the only time I would hear people talking about Africa is if they were going on a missions trip or some sort of charity. We're going over to Africa to take them some clothes and some shoes, and boy, they're just walking around over there. We need to Americanize them poor Africans. They don't know. We got it good over here. We are blessed. We're blessed in the city and we're blessed in the field. We're blessed when we come and when we go, because them poor Africans over there, they need us. And then I took my black behind over there and I found out the truth. And I sat there and I said, you know what? I said, I have been colonized so bad that although I have this brown body, I have a colonized mind that needs to be deconstructed, reconstructed, and I cannot allow somebody else to do this for me. I have to go and see for myself, and it's worth it for me to invest into myself. And that's what I did. And I began to understand the broader context of the story. And when I say the broader context is when we went to school, most of us were told that Christopher Columbus discovered America. How could Christopher Columbus discover a place that people already existed? So it began to teach me and show me how when it came to history and education, it was European supremacy that was trying to dominate and control the narrative. When you take someone who is foreign to a land to say, oh, wow, he discovered it, and now we're being graded and judged based upon that. So we adopt that. And so for most of us, we say, well, Africa was, our history started with slavery. And so we came from slaves without understanding that although there were those who were enslaved who were our United States ancestors for some of us, there was a powerful history, an incredible history on the continent of Africa that took place long before the European transatlantic slave trade. So, but if all you know from childhood is that, then that's what you begin to think. And so why would you want to spend your money to go to Africa? What's over there? Everybody's sick and dying and poor and corrupt. So why am I going to do that? Why don't I go stand up in front of the Eiffel Tower and take a picture in front of that? Why don't I go over and take a picture in front of Big Ben? Why don't I do that? Because that's what we've been told and sold and believe. And so now when I saw for myself, I said, I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. I'm going to tell people and let people know that there's more to the story. There's more to the story. And that's the wonderful part about what we have been talking about and sharing with Maximum Impact. So I guess I kind of answered this question. So why so many people have never traveled to Africa? In the chat, type your thoughts. Why have so many people never traveled to Africa? What do you think? Just type it in there. Why do so many people in our communities, why do they fail to have a passport? Not even if they're not traveling to Africa. Why do they fail to have a passport to go anywhere? For the longest time, I didn't get a passport until I was well into my 20s. Travel was not emphasized, and I'm talking about that. I was afraid to travel internationally. Ooh, something's always going on overseas. Oh, if you get over there, ooh, it's bad, 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 bad. If you go over there, you might not come back. Ooh. And so what I realized is in my family, my culture, everybody was spooked easily. They watched something, they watched Tom Brokaw, they watched Peter Jennings, they watched, I'm taking y'all back in the day now, right? They watched them and they said, ooh, something bad is going on. And instantly, the first people who would get spooked would be people who came from where I came from. And as a result, they would stay on the American plantation, because of fear. And I had to get out of that. And I finally woke up to this realization as I was getting older. And I said, if I don't do this, nobody else is going to do it for me. Surely the powers that be are not going to be encouraging me to go travel internationally unless it's to the places where they want me to go. And I said, I need to go against the grain and go see for myself. And that's when I went on the search. And that's when the hidden treasures were revealed to me. And the hidden treasures were outside of these boundaries, psychological boundaries. For me, I grew up in the Washington metropolitan area, affectionately known as the DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. I grew up there, but I was born in Charleston, South Carolina. So that's where my Gullah Geechee roots come from, my red rice, my boiled peanuts, and the whole nine. That came from that area. But the majority of my childhood and young adult life, all I knew was the I-95 corridor, I-95, 26 down to Charleston. That's what I would know. And I didn't venture too far outside of that. I think I went to New York in like 1989 or something like that for the first time and dared to go to New York City. Then as I got a little bit older, I said, well, let me just venture out. I went to Toronto, I went to New Orleans, went down to Miami. I was like, hey, I'm doing something. And I was doing something because for somebody who, if you're in a bubble and that's all you know, this is the beginnings of it. But for many, many years, I did not travel, did not go anywhere because I was afraid and thought that something bad was going to happen. And then I finally mustered up the courage and I went down into the Caribbean. And then going into the Caribbean, I had a chance to go down to the Cayman Islands and Jamaica. And of course, this was on one of the cruises, one of the all-inclusive cruises. And and so that was my first international experience. And I did venture out to California when I was doing some speaking across the country. I did a little bit of that. But outside of the United States, I was not really keen on doing that because of the unknown. My culture didn't encourage it. And so I stayed put for the majority of my life. And then the moment came where I said, if I don't get outside of this bubble, I'm going to mess around and it's going to be over. Time is going to run out and I'm going to have a whole lot of woulda, shoulda, couldas and wish I wouldas instead of saying, you know what, I did. I did it now. I did it now. I didn't care what anybody had to say. I had the money, but my mind would tell me I didn't have the money because that's the conditioning. My mind would say, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But little did I realize on the other side of that, I was going to really discover myself. And in discovering myself, that's where I was going. This is where all of this comes from, getting outside of the boundaries, getting outside of the box. Now, within the boundaries, we do the same thing day after day, week after week, year after year. Then we have this bucket list that we keep adding to that we never get around to. That's right. Well, it's a new day. And for some of you, you're going to understand that it's time for a reboot. It's time to reboot your life. If y'all know what it's like to reboot, put reboot in the chat. Time to do something different. Power down and reboot your life. Get things in order. Do what you got to do. Find something different and live, y'all. It's time to live. Y'all know how many people have dreams and they never live. They're afraid to live because someone said, oh no, if you do that, something bad is going to happen to you. Oh no, if you try that, something bad is going to happen to you. If you want to live, I want you to put live in the chat. Live. You get one life on this side. And so what we choose to do with it is up to us. And I had to get the voices out of my head, my own voices out of my head, other people's voices out of my head, and live. And that's what you've been seeing me do. That's what you see in all these videos. When you check out my YouTube channel, my social media, you see me living, because so many people, because of their fears and their insecurities and their own doubts, tried to rob life from me. But now, because of going outside of those boundaries, I've been able to discover and find out the potential in me, and been able to share that with others so they could find that same potential outside of those boundaries. And that's the beautiful part of it. All right, then the other part of it is, so many people talked about traveling. They all want to go to Europe and Asia, but what about going to the places where people look like me? That wasn't the topic of conversation. Then came the excuses. How long is the flight? How much it's going to cost? What's going to happen over here? I don't know. I got to think about it. I don't know. Now, if someone was talking about going to London or Paris, oh, yes, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to Rome and Amsterdam and London and Lisbon, and I'm ready to go now. But you start talking about going to Accra, you start talking about going to Cairo or Johannesburg. Oh, I don't know. You sure you want to do that? I don't know. Ooh. The reality is this. How much was it going to cost me to stay within those boundaries? It's going to cost me everything, because I hit a plateau in my life. I was stuck, and I was tired of doing the same thing day after day. I was tired, y'all. I woke up every morning, did the same routine, made the money, and then trying to figure it out. And I got tired. It would have cost me everything. And it hit the end of 2017, and I was like, I can't keep living like this. This right here is, I can't do it. I cannot do it. I cannot go into a new year doing the same thing, New Year's Eve, same old, for some people they do the revivals, some people they do the resolutions, some people it's the same routine every year. Before you know it, a whole year is gone, and I've done the same thing. 2018, I said I'm going to do something different. And for some of you, 2024 is going to be that year. You're going to do something different, or you're going to continue to build upon what you've already started. And so as you begin to build on what you've already started, you begin to unlock things within yourself that you didn't even know were in there. Thoughts and dreams that you wish you had. Now you begin to live it out. And there's nothing like being able to do that, because now you're in a position to inspire other people. It would have cost me the hidden treasure. And the hidden treasures, what are some of the benefits of traveling to Africa as a black person born in America? Well, the fact that you begin to learn the history from that side of the world. And it's not just history, it's not just an educational lesson, it's a 5-sensory experience when you get there and you taste the food and you're among the people and you begin to see the similarities. You begin to look and say, wow, you look like my cousin. Wait a minute, you look like me. You look like, whoa, what's happening here? But those are some of the benefits. And so when you begin to have that, it starts to unlock. I didn't realize I was going to do a documentary about Tanzania, working on one for Ghana. I'll share a little bit about that in a moment. Didn't realize how I was going to be educated. My mind was going to be reconstructed after it was deconstructed, how it built me back up as a person, changing perspectives, building confidence. And then for me, travel became a form of therapy. It was going through different changes in life, recognizing that things weren't quite what I thought, and I needed to clear my head. And I went around the world, spent much of the past 3 years, probably 80 to 90% on the road, clearing my head, learning, tasting different foods, meeting different people. Again, how much would it have cost me to stay within the DMV? And only the DMV. It would cost me everything. And that's the deal, and that's what we don't want. So what hidden treasures await you in Africa on one of our travel destinations? Could it be therapy? Could it be adventure? Who knows? It's for each person to decide. It's your thing. Do you want to? It's your thing. Do what you want to do. But I had to get out the rat race, because that rat race was running me down. And I said, you know what? I'm going to relax and enjoy. And little did I realize I'm going to be able to lead so many people on this journey. So who are these travel adventures for? You. That's the bottom line. For you. For Gen Z and young millennials, I encourage them to travel now and don't wait until you get to be 30, 40, 50 years old. Do it now. I wish I would have done it in my 20s, because I would have learned so much. But you know what? The timing happened the way that it was supposed to happen for me. But now, for those who are in their 20s and 30s and even approaching their 40s, it's important to go ahead and embrace travel as a lifestyle. I encourage you to do it. Hey, for boomers and Gen X, it's not over. How Moret say, it's not over. So the deal is, it is not over. you can still enjoy. And that's what we see. So many boomers are saying, you know what? Before I get up out of here, I'm going all over the world. We have so many people 70 plus had never been to the continent of Africa, but now they've been multiple times because of how they've been inspired. And that's something that we recognize. And of course, Gen X, I represent Gen X. All the Gen Xers are like, look, I haven't raised these kids. I'm grown. I got to do something. I got to figure this thing out. There has to be more to life than bills and taking care of everybody else. There has to be. Has to be more to it. So guess what? We're going on an adventure. And I'm going to take you to Egypt. And I want you to see the experience and the journey that we have in Egypt. And just take this time to watch, because guess what? You are going to be invited to join us in Egypt. And I'll give you the details. Well, you're going to see the details in this clip. You're going to see real people. You're going to see the experience. And my question to you is, will you be next? Well, you can be. And we have a special offer on the way for you. Take a look at my folks, my friends, my family in Egypt. These are lifetime memories that you will carry with you. I'm telling you, I was here around this time last year. It was last November. And that's when I decided, I said, oh yeah, we'll be back.
Hello, I'm Ingrid Briggs from Atlanta, Georgia. This is my second trip with Maximum Impact Travel.
Birthday was Sunday, October 2nd. And thank you.
This is my first trip with Maximum Impact.
And my first trip to Africa. I've been wanting to go to Egypt since I was a 9-year-old little girl, so I'm finally scratching something off on my bucket list, and I'm here with my daughter and my sister-in-law.
And my wife is paranoid to travel and all. Believe me, no more scratches, clanging on the airplane. All that is over with, but I'm glad to meet all you guys here.
And just like Sean, I've always wanted to come to Egypt. It's been a dream of mine, and my dream has come true. And it's been on my bucket list.
I'm having a hard time finding people to travel with internationally, so I'm very excited to meet all of you people, hopefully make some connections, and my birthday is tomorrow. I'm just going to go ahead and say hello, family, because I know by the end of this trip, we're all going to be family.
I've watched so many YouTube since April, so if you do your, due diligence?
And I wanted to see how much it changed, and I'm looking forward to meeting new people and just having fun.
So happy birthday, Libras! Mine is October the 1st. Yeah, so happy birthday, everybody. This is my first time coming, and I was invited by this posse here. We might have a name when we're done.
And this is my first trip here.
A knitter from the heavens. Yes. I was in Ghana last year. I'm here with the 4 amigos plus the crew from ATL in New York.
It's my second trip, and hopefully we'll have a fabulous time together. Nice to meet you.
You're going to find there are 2 entrance.
My second trip with Maximum Impact Travel.
This is my first time at the dinner for the meet and greet.
I love Maximum Impact. This is my first trip here, and while we've been here, I've been FaceTiming and Facebook and messaging my family, and I tell them that Impact Travel is how we're gonna travel from now on.
Just enjoy the entire experience of doing Maximum Impact, everything that's involved, the way that Jay coordinates it, the itinerary, the things you get to see. You don't feel like you're gonna miss out on anything, but you don't feel like you're trying to see too much. It's just like this perfect blend of relaxation and fun, and as well as education and wonderment and experience.
It's just wonderful. You don't have to worry about anything. Jay takes care of everything for you. One of the coolest parts, I think, in the 3 trips that we've taken with Maximum Impact Travel is meeting the locals, working with the locals, and entrusting the locals to help give us a great and memorable experience.
All of the history of Egypt. So look, please. 5, 2, how many different being colors? First color. White. Thank you so much. Then we have the brownish one.
Great, actually. I didn't know what to expect at first coming. You know, I kind of just don't really do a lot of research coming because I'm kind of comfortable coming with Maximum Impact Travel. Jay has always put forth an amazing effort when it's time for his tours. And so now we pretty much have become family. So I really don't prepare for it. So I didn't know what to prepare for. I just kind of just put some stuff in a suitcase and came. And so I have been pleasantly surprised and overwhelmed at the same time. It's a lot of history here.
These ones, real Bazilka soups. Why? Because they are fire rock, which is they are hard soup. Fire rock or hard soups. So it's taking over than a month to cook. So around you guys, that is the alabaster stone from how they bring it from the mountains. The mountain, by the way, about it was almost finished, but the higher part or upper part is not finished yet. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for visiting us. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Because I am single, and looking at Jay videos on YouTube, he actually made me feel safe.
My cousin, she has traveled with Maximum Impact before.
Because I felt safe, I felt comfortable. What you see is what you get, no hidden costs.
To appease, right? Or to show that how we respect and we believe about your goddess, and at the same time, right? How were they able to put their own hieroglyphics on the wall as Egyptians? Okay, so all the poets and even the it's known during the Greek and Roman rulers, but by ancient Egyptian artisans and workers.
This is my first, but not my last.
You know, this is our 3rd trip in the past year with Maximum Impact.
My Ghanaian name, well, my Ashanti name that I was given when I went with Maximum Impact Travel in 2021, I believe, yeah, 2021, is Afia, born Friday.
No, I had no fears or concerns. I'm very adventurous. I always wanted to travel outside of the country. I always wanted to travel to Africa.
No, I've been on the continent of Africa before.
We don't feel nothing unsafe about Africa now.
Well, still a little fearful. Well, before dealing with Maximum Impact, yeah, there was a lot of fear based on what we grew up learning.
I say come, don't believe the hype that you're in danger. Come and experience it for yourself. Come and know where your roots and your heritage is, and leave a legacy for your children and your family, and let them know we have a rich history.
Don't look at no other agency, no other travel agency but Impact Travel. If Egypt is not for you, there might be Ghana, there might be Zanzibar, whatever you're looking for in that particular part of Africa, Impact Travel.
Just do it. Just come. Doesn't matter. As long as you step foot on this continent, it's good enough for me. So I would just say, just come, explore, enjoy yourself, and leave America in America and come to Africa and experience the culture.
Forget all the myths and all that make-believe stuff. Research it yourself and just come in and just try it one time. Guarantee you, all the doubts will go away.
It's like, okay, I can't make it.
The camels.
Yeah.
Loved walking through the pyramids. My legs are still hurting from it.
Seeking the knowledge and listen to all of you because you are local and you were giving us information, that we probably wouldn't get out there.
Climbing in the pyramids will be, between the pyramids and being on the camel's back, will be the most memorable, because I never thought I'd ride a camel.
When I went up in the hot air balloon, it's like something came over me. I felt spiritual.
Because we are brothers and sisters, we need to learn about our history and our past.
The original empires, the original kingdoms, the original peoples.
When I came here, I've always wanted to go to South Africa first, but Egypt was perfect for me. I really got to learn the true history of our people.
Well, if you are part of the diaspora, everybody part of the diaspora should come back to the continent.
We know this is our homeland. History books don't have to tell you that. I cannot imagine not one black person not wanting to say, I'm home.
I'll tell you of my story about my trip to Cairo, Egypt. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
And those are my folks. Yes, indeed. I tell you, we had a great time. And as you can see, we're not just travel folks. We become a family. And I've met all of them for the first time. Some of them for the first time in Ghana, some for the first time in Egypt. And so I tell you, it's so much more than traveling. All right, so that's the one thing. I did see a question that popped up in the feed in reference to international airfare, and one of the reasons why for our standard trips. Now, if we have a group trip that's already set up, because we work with individuals, we work with groups, and then we schedule our trips. And so in scheduling our trips, when you don't know how many people are going to come, and then if you don't reach the airline minimums, then the airline wants to charge you even more. So what we do is and more and more people I'm discovering are using their points. They want to, they're going on Google flights and finding different packages and different ways to get their airline fare for less. So that's one of the reasons why for our standard trips, international airfare is not included. But if we do have a group trip that is guaranteed to meet the minimums, then we will make the international airfare offered. So it is a part of what we do as a travel company, but we're not going to be on the hook for when people change their mind, and then you get some people say they want to come and then they don't want to come, and all these other things, and then you fall below the minimums, and it makes it a very interesting situation. So that is the reason why we don't do that. We have so many trips going on. We have people in Ghana right now. Folks just left Egypt. Got South Africa coming around the corner. We have Kenya and Tanzania coming up soon. We have Egypt coming up again. So it's a lot going on. And so that's why we try to make it work for everyone. As a matter of fact, the elephant in the room is what's going on in the Middle East. And actually, for some people don't know that Egypt is actually in Africa. I had somebody say, yeah, I went to Egypt, but now I'm going to Africa. Like, y'all know Egypt is in Africa. Oh, really? Yeah, it is. But you know what? That's why we're here. And so what's happening in Israel is not happening in Egypt. Egypt actually has the strongest military on the continent of Africa, and it is a different country. It's in a different place. And there are a lot of folks that we have on the ground. We just had a group in Egypt, and we've had people going to Egypt ever since everything started happening in Israel back in October. And so take a look at this.
Good morning from Giza! Today is October the 11th, 2020. Egypt is so much fun. We've been in the city of Cairo, we've been to Hurghada, we've been to the beach, we've been horseback riding, and I don't feel it's great. No safety issues here. You should come.
I've been here a few extra days, so I've actually been here 11 days. I love it. Today's October 17th. We've been here, like I said, 11 days. Very safe. I had some family that was concerned, but I've never been worried. Everything is safe here. I can't wait to get back.
Hi everyone, my name is Noelle. This is my family. We are so excited to be here. We're in Aswan. It's absolutely beautiful. Taking a beautiful trip down the Nile. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. Syed has been the greatest tour guide we could have had. He's informative. He laughs with us. He jokes with us. He makes it exciting. We love to be here. We've enjoyed ourselves. The food is amazing. The boat ride is amazing. We are safe and we are having a blast. Thanks for having us.
We have two of our queens here. Could you please introduce yourself?
I am Jerry Taylor. I'm Cheryl Lorado.
So could you please So could you tell us, please, how you found your experience in Egypt and how safe it was?
Absolutely wonderful. It's safe here. We had someone else with us, an armed guard, so we feel very safe, not threatened. People are pretty friendly. Food is delicious, and we feel safe. So I'm saying, come on, y'all, you need to come.
Yes, very safe. Not once did I feel like I was unsafe. So it is very safe for you to come and learn about our history and the culture of it all. It's mind-blowing. To miss it because you think something is going to happen, you in the States, if this is going to the States, if you're there, you should be running over here because it's safer over here. We haven't seen any violence.
That's
okay?
right. That's right.
I will say that it's safe except when I'm with my people here. They are the scariest.
Oh, we're scary. Oh, did you just go there?
Oh, so
wait till I tell you about
y'all
us doing her favorite, taking her pictures when she did that.
Oh, they cut your head off on pictures. That's scary. They are scary.
Oh my God.
But I love them.
Really? That's because she's going to need us to take another picture. It ain't happening, girl. It ain't happening. But come on. It's very safe.
So what you want to tell for Black Americans who want to come to Egypt on 2023 and they still worried? What's your message for them?
You know what? I would not allow fear to get in the way of a facade of people thinking that they're not going to be safe, because you are. And like my buddy Cheryl over here said, you're really missing out on your history, because a lot of us don't know our history, and this is a great place to start in terms of out of the United States to learn your history. You're missing out, guys. Please do not give up your opportunity to learn about your culture and yourselves and enjoy yourself.
What's your message for them?
My message is step away from the anxiety, put it behind you, because for most people, this is a bucket list trip. And to miss out on your bucket list trip is just you doing yourself a disservice. Don't do that. Take the plunge and come on.
What's your message, Loretta?
I will say that I have enjoyed it, and it is a privilege to actually be walking on the sacred grounds of all of these amazing kings and queens and pharaohs and all these things. It's beautiful. I feel like these are my ancestors, and I'm here to visit. Thank you.
Meshi, Meshi.
Meshi, Meshi.
All right. I mean, people on the ground telling you. They said it with their own words. And again, folks are continuing to go because they get their information from the people on the ground, and they're able to filter out when the media here in the States, how it tries to project in very interesting ways places of where people of African descent come from, or even in places in Central and South America. They'll be quick to say, okay, that's someplace bad that you don't want to go. But then when you get there, you're like, wait a minute, what are y'all talking about? What's happening here? And the one thing about us, we're not going to go any place that we feel is unsafe. That's the one thing. And I'm not going anywhere if I feel it's unsafe. And I'm not going to have my team or my staff going anywhere that we feel is unsafe. And so that's the reason why we have been continuing to go to Egypt. We'll continue to go as long as we can. And another thing that we're doing is we're breaking down the spook factor. You know, there's this spook factor that I realized anytime when I was growing up, anytime there's something going on in Greece. I wanted to go to Greece. Somebody did something in the streets in Greece and it hit the nightly news. But when the people were stabbing folks in Spain or London or wherever they were stabbing them, people still getting on the plane going to London without question. They were doing all kinds of things, and there was no question about it. Oh, but I'm still going. It's the trip of a lifetime. I'm going over there to have tea with the Queen. You know, so once I started breaking that stuff down in my mind, I was like, you know what? I understand how this media works. I understand how this thing happens. Again, if we see that there's credible evidence that this is a dangerous place, then we're not going to go. So in other words, the height of what was going on in Israel, we would not do anything to Israel. We would not go into Israel. So because it was obvious that something was happening there. But Israel and Egypt are two different places. Israel and Morocco, two different places. And that's why education is so important. Geography is so important. So with that, though, we do recognize that there are concerns, and we do want to be able to address those concerns. But this is our perspective. This is how we look at it. our team on the ground in Egypt, they would tell us, hey, don't come. It's not good. Right now, this is what's going on. The political climate isn't good. Don't go. And then you get these little emails that circulate around and all. You just have to be very, very mindful of what's going on. And that's why we have a summit to talk about it, because again, this stuff is designed. When slavery happened, if I got to go down this road, when transatlantic slavery happened, it was never designed for the descendants of those who were enslaved to leave the plantation. So sometimes if you get inside of somebody's mind, you can control how they think. They'll never leave the plantation. So it's like you don't even have to put chains on them because the chains are in their mind. You don't have to put a fence up. You don't have to put anything up because they'll automatically stay within those boundaries. Because psychologically, if we've been bombarded with fear, now they flying all over the world, everybody else flying all over the world, but this particular segment of the population somehow knows to stay where they're supposed to be. But now we're gonna do like Harriet and the rest of them, Harriet Tubman and all of them. We're like, come on, let's get on and see what's out here in the rest of this world so we can get these hidden treasures. So that's what's going on in Egypt. Now, with that said, just want to run a few things down to you for those who are interested, and this will be quick. The way that this works, you arrive in Egypt on day one. So everything that you saw in the video. So you arrive. Day one is the day that you arrive. We encourage everybody to come in around between 12 and 4 p.m. on the first day of the tour. And you go to MaximumImpactTravel.com. I'll take you and show you how you can find the trips, and you can select whichever date that you're interested in. But maybe you want to bring your family on a custom date. Let us know. Maybe you want to go solo on your own time, and let us know. We'll be able to coordinate that for you. So we just don't do group trips, structured group trips, but we will do individuals as well as families, custom groups, custom trips, couples, however you want to do it. We're able to facilitate that for you. So here's the deal. Day one, you arrive in Cairo, and then you get ready for the welcome dinner. Later that evening, you'll be staying at the Sheraton Cairo Casino, more than likely, or the Conrad Hotel, or comparable. We do have the option to upgrade to 4 seasons for those who are interested. Day two, you go to the Giza Pyramids and the Sphinx. You saw that in the video. And then you have a chance to ride the camels. That's on day two. You fly down on day three. Early morning flight, fly down to Luxor and go to Karnak Temple. You get a chance to do Luxor by night on a horse-drawn carriage, get the sugarcane juice, get a chance to do that, see the temples there. And then the next day, early morning, the West Bank, for those who are interested in the hot air balloon ride, you can do that. Valley of the Kings tour, the Alabaster tour. For those who are interested in essential oils, you get a chance to do that in Aswan. The cotton, you get a chance to do that in Cairo. But you're going to be cruising down the Nile River. That's the other thing. So you get a chance to cruise down the Nile River. You do that in Luxor. And you spend day 4, 5, 6, and 4, 5, and 6, and 7 there on the Nile, cruising down the Nile. So then the next day you cruise. Day 5, you go to Edfu, the Temple of Edfu in Kamumbo, as you're cruising down the Nile. And then on day 6, you arrive in Aswan. And this is when you get a chance to go to the Nubian village. You get a chance to go to the Nubian Museum. And for those who are interested, the next day, you get a chance to, for those who are interested, you go to Abu Simbel or you go to Philae Temple, depending on what you decide. And then we catch a flight back to Cairo. And then you check back into the hotel in Cairo. The next day, you go to the Egyptian Museum. That's where you get a chance to see the mummies. And then after that, if you want to, you can opt to ride the ATVs around the pyramids. And this is when you have your farewell dinner and you get ready to depart. On day 9, you travel back to your home destination. And that's what you have the option of doing. And for those who are, all right, now this is what you can do. So if you're interested in this particular trip, all you do is you go to MaximumImpactTravel.com, and I'm going to pull this up for you so you can see it. And so when you go to the website, you now click on Destinations. And when you click on Destinations, what's going to come up, you're going to be able to select between the different trips that you are interested in. And then you click on Egypt. And when you click on Egypt, you're able to see the different dates that we have. So you scroll down, upcoming dates 2024, 2025, 2026. So let's say you're looking for something in June of next year. You know, say you say, okay, I need a little time. All right. So then you click on it. It comes up and you can select whichever package you're interested in. Now here's everything that's included. Your ground transportation is included. Your hotel accommodations are included. And as a matter of fact, for Egypt, your meals are included as well. So Egypt, your meals, except your beverages, but all meals are included with Egypt. And then your visa is on arrival. So you don't have to do anything other than get your visa on arrival. You do not need any vaccinations going into Egypt unless you're coming from a country that has yellow fever. So you don't have to worry about any vaccination. Remember, they told us you need all these shots. I need all these shots to go to Africa. Need all these shots. Well, no, that's not true. In many cases, you only need one. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So with this, it does not include your passport, does not include your visa, it does not include your travel insurance, and we strongly, highly recommend getting the travel insurance with the medical option. And so coming up for this particular trip, these are the prices that you're looking at if you're interested in going. So you see right here, and you select which one you're interested in. Let's say you're looking for double occupancy, and double occupancy is per person. That's double occupancy per person. So you can click on, if you're looking to say, book now, okay, you're looking at that. And then let's see, you want to add the hot air balloon, or you want to add some other options to it, you can. But this tells you right here, this gives you your payment options. So let's say, for example, you want to do the 12-month payment plan and you're selecting 2 people. Then you can go, boom, click add to cart. And it gives you your payment plan right over to the right. So you're able to see what your down payment is. So your first month's payment is going to be your monthly payment. So your down payment, your deposit is going to be basically your first month's payment. And so this is how it breaks down over the course. It actually ends up being 13 months. And so you're able to see it right there in front of you. And if you're interested in it, you can then select update to cart, or you can fill in all the details, your billing details, your participant information. It walks you through the whole process. This is the same thing for Ghana and all of our other trips. So I'm giving this to you early, so we won't need to necessarily repeat this again when we go through the Ghana presentation in a moment. But this gives you everything right here, and you fill it out, and then you'll be signed up for the trip. It's easy. It is very easy to do. And you see everything right there to your right, all of the details for those who are interested. And you can plan it out. Again, we go all the way into 2026. So for some people, let's go take a look at what 2026 has to offer. Let's say you want to go to Egypt. Now, some people are like, look, I'm ready to go this year. And you can go this year. You can go this year. So here you are, the dates that are coming up for this year: April, August, October, November. And then we have 2025, February, April, June, October. Then 2026, February, April, June, October. And let's say you're just interested in going in 2026. You're like, hey, I'm on a budget. I really want to go, but I'm going to take a little bit longer to make it work. That's fine. And that's one of the things that we took into consideration. So we said, okay, here you are. You made the decision that that's something that you want to do. And I'll probably have to end up. All right. So now you got a 24-month payment plan if you're interested in it. 24 months. And so we go as far as 36 months for those who are interested in it. So you click add to cart. I'm actually going to end up deleting the first one out of here. There we go. All right. We're going to delete that. All right, and then we're going to update. There we go. All right, let's see. Here we go. All right. All right, so we delete that from the cart. We update cart. All right, so this gives you an idea. So now your payment comes down to $422 per month. So again, it just depends on what you're looking for and you're looking at your budget or however you're planning it out. But the way that we've been able to navigate this and make it easier for you is to give you extended terms for those who need it. There's some who are like, listen, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to make some moves. And you can do that. And that's why we're here, to make it easier for you to be able to do it and to navigate. Now, before we jump into Ghana, and we'll share that in a moment, I know there's some questions some frequently asked questions that we do get about the trips. And again, I want to make sure we cover this. First of all, are the trips child friendly? Yes, they are. Are there children's discount? Yes, 40% for ages between 5 and 11. Are the trips adult friendly? Yes, they are. Is there a lot of physical movement? Yes, a lot of physical movement. Do we offer payment plans? I just covered that with you. Is international airfare included? Not unless it is a structured group trip. It is not offered on our standard packages just because of the fluctuations and people and the minimums that the airlines required. If the airlines did not require minimums, then we would do it all day, every day. But we do have an independent travel agent that we can refer you to if that is something that you're looking to, that you need some assistance with. That person can assist you. What languages? This is in particular with Ghana and Egypt. In Egypt, they speak Arabic and English. In Ghana, they speak English and local languages, just to kind of give you some insight there. Do we pair guests? No, we do not pair guests. Do you assist with booking flights? No, but we do have an agent who we can refer you to if you need help. Can non-American citizens join the trip? Yes, they can. Just make sure you check with the respective embassy to make sure that you get get all of the information that you need and that it's up to, it's properly, you're going into the country legally, I should say. Can you change your occupancy after booking? Yes, you can, based upon availability. So if you sign up as a single occupant and you get a roommate, yes, it can go to double occupancy based upon availability. How much extra money will you need on the trip? Between $300 to $500 minimum. Now, we say that because you can survive off of $300 to $500 minimum. I like to say $500 just to be on the safe side. Some of y'all like to shop, and I know we got some shoppers out there. If y'all are some shoppers, put one in the comments if you're a shopper. If you're a shopper, put one in the comments. Yeah. So I know the shoppers are out there. And then I'm going to say this one last statement, and then we're going to dive into Ghana and give you all that information. And I want to make sure that it's very, very clear who we are and who we are not. And I say this, and I want to say this with all love as I say it, but right here, we are not the Cheap Trip to Africa company. And the reason why we're not the Cheap Trip to Africa company is because, one, we do not curate trips, we curate experiences. We have a staff of at least 30 people around the world in the US, Egypt, Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa. And so what we do is we do not exploit the people. The continent of Africa has been exploited with its resources and its labor for hundreds of years. And we do not come as neo-colonists to come in and then take advantage of the people. And that's what you happen. If your trip is too low, because some people say, well, I can get the trip for less. Absolutely. And guess what? The people who are working there are staying on a certain level. I've seen it happen. I've seen these companies and how they do it. And it is sickening. But the reason why we have people in the comments saying, I just went to Egypt and had a great time, shout out to Lisa, and she took her, I believe she said her aunt or her grandmother with her, to 75 years old, over to Egypt, and she had the experience there because of how we take care of our team on the ground, Prince and everybody else, because we are not the Cheap Trip to Africa company, and we never will be. And we don't attract that crowd, honestly. We want to make sure that we provide the best for you, and we want to make sure that our folks on the ground are taken care of. They are human beings who have families, and I take pride in the fact that we make sure that they are well taken care of, and we do not have any exploitation along the way. And so that's in all of the countries that we service. That's why people travel with us 3 times in 1 year. That's why people come back time and time again, because it's more than a trip. It's an experience. And we invite people to join us because they have a chance to see and have this encounter. So with that said, y'all, let's get into this wonderful country we know as Ghana. And guess what? I'm going to share something with you so you can see how special Ghana is And I want you to join me because we're about to release this coming up really soon. Yeah, it's coming up really, really soon. And when you see what we have happening in Ghana, you're going to want to be a part of it and you're going to want to join us. Take a look. Growing up in America as a black man is one of the most difficult things that you can do. For more than 500 years, there's been an intentional effort to separate those who descend from the continent of Africa from the continent of Africa. Through education, finances, religion, culture, this divide has spread throughout the world.
The educational system is the greatest propagator of that and the greatest poisoner of the minds, not only of African people who have a negative image of themselves, but non-African people who have a negative image of African people.
The American system was created so they can have workers. There is a story that's been sold to the rest of the world about Africa.
It's fed both ways. They're feeding us, oh, they're living in villages with big bellies and flies, and they're feeding, oh, they're just rappers and they're killing each other. And
it's bad that we have so many Europeans now visiting Africa than actually our own black people. Again, information, those Europeans, they know about Africa, but I want people in the United States, for example, to not know about Africa.
It hurts me so much to hear that we sold them into slavery. And so, when I'm here and they come, there I say the devil is a liar. Why? Because, they will know the truth.
They try to kill my soul. Don't want to see me
46-year-old George Floyd was choked by a cop digging into his
I'm unstoppable. Still I'm unstoppable.
I had to make a decision to understand the truth, to understand the information that perhaps someone did not want me to know. What it began for me was a journey and a search for the truth, to create a different legacy for my children. Education is so important, and knowing the history beyond what they teach us in the U.S., and they didn't teach me much of anything. That's why I apologize to you and your brothers for putting y'all in that school system, because it wasn't right.
I want young people to see in the U.S. and these places, I really want them to begin to grow up seeing Africa as central to their future, as central to their opportunities, as central to their safety, as central to their being.
And let them know that this is who you are, be proud of who you are, and embrace it all.
Every agenda that's been pushed on us, it's time to destroy that and create our own narrative as people of color, as diasporans, and as the new Africans.
People need to see the world. They need to get on a plane, get in a car, go outside of your comfort zone, because when you go somewhere else, you understand people more. You can be more empathetic in certain situations because you know where they're coming from, and you can learn about yourself.
When I see my brothers from the diaspora come, it warms my heart so much. It makes me so happy.
And when you come here, it's not just a slavery story, it's when we were kings and still are kings.
As long as Africa is disrespected, we cannot enjoy our full potential as an individual of African descent until Africa itself is respected.
When I came to Ghana and discovered how much I was not taught, I realized the importance of educating myself. This is where it all began. This is where my life changed. This is where I began to discover who I was. And I want to take you on that journey with me.
Good morning, America. We are live from Ghana.
Looks like they're having a good time there in Ghana. And welcome back to GMA. That is Miss Kente from Ghana. She won the crown at the Kente Festival in the village where the traditional cloth originated. And she's been weaving a special GMA Kente cloth for us this morning.
Yeah, let's go back to Robin in Ghana's capital city of Accra. Hey again, Robin.
Hey, Amy, I have Miss Kente here with me again. As you said, she's been working hard all morning on this traditional weave cloth. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for making it us. It's our GMA colors, and I know the significance. You told us earlier the significance of the colors. So thank you so much. We appreciate that. And the future of fashion, we should say as well, is just as colorful as what she made for us today.
When I came here, I felt the love immediately. Everybody was smiling, and especially if you take time to learn a little bit of the language, they really accept you. But even if you don't hardly know anything, if you just give an effort to at least say hello or thank you in their language, or ask them how they're doing. Etisane, how are you? Madasi, thank you. Ani, yes. Mapacho Ani, please, yes. Or Dabi, no. Mapacho Dabi, no, please. So if you just learn little phrases like that, real easy. Ghanaians, they're already a welcoming people, but if you just show some kind of respect for their culture and their language, you'll be definitely accepted with even bigger open arms. And I love it here. It's just, I've been all over the world. I've been to some of the most beautiful places in the world, but it's just something different when you come to your ancestral homeland, whether it be Ghana or any place in Africa. It's just something special, and I'm thankful for Jay Cameron and Maximum Impact Travel for making this one of the highlights of my entire life. And from this trip alone, I will definitely be coming back to Ghana and other areas in Africa, and they're going to be through Maximum Impact Travel.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? I'm here at the Kwami Nkrumah Presidential Mausoleum in the heart of Accra, Ghana. And one of the most interesting things about Dr. Kwami Nkrumah is his story and how he was able to lead what was formerly known as the Gold Coast to independence and form the country we now know as Ghana. And what many are learning and understanding is that as a result of the Berlin Conference, Africa was chopped up into different territories, but they weren't actually countries until later into the 20th century. And below the Saharan Desert, Ghana was the first country to gain what was called independence. And so they gained their independence from the British. And so Dr. Kwami Nkrumah was elected the first president here in Ghana. And it's a fascinating story that everyone should really take time to learn. You learn about how he was educated in the United States, how he pledged, he's actually a Sigma. And so then how well-traveled he was and how many different friends and associates he had throughout the world. So the story of Dr. Kwami Nkrumah is one I believe everyone should learn about. And when you come here to Accra, Ghana, we'll make sure that you get a chance to learn it right here at the Dr. Kwami Nkrumah Mausoleum in Accra, Ghana.
Maya Angelou, Muhammad Ali, W.E.B. Du Bois, Louis Armstrong came, and others as well. The statue is bronze, and his posture means forward ever, backwards never. which is a slogan of a political party before. He had a party called CPP, which means Convention People's Party. Freedom Wall. This is just to show that, after all, he was a human being.
We are coming to give you Akwaba music. So after this, then we also have the basic of drumming.
Just trying to get a feel for everything.
So from henceforth, your Kwabena Yaboa, that is your name.
Kwabena.
Kwabena.
Aji.
Aji.
Kwakuboku.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Nanan mo ating konya so mu Israel. Yakobu ma so mu Israel. Emre so na so wo mu wie bibia na wo mu kwa. Wonye di wo tata na mpo godura so wie mu. Won kwam so won kobo da wufa amfa nkyere. Na afofo nso
the sound of the river. It is not just sound of the river.
Let it out. All right, Tony. All right. I feel what you're feeling.
Yeah, we feel it all.
This was the first slave dungeon built by the Portuguese in the year 1482. As we speak today, this slave dungeon is 541 years old. This is the oldest, the biggest, the largest, and the first to come into contact with the slave trade. The Portuguese were the first Europeans to arrive here in the year 1471 for three main reasons: political, religious, and economic. Political in the sense that the Portuguese at that time wanted an area outside Europe where they could control, dominate, and extend their territories. Religious was to propagate the gospel as they claimed to do. Economic was to enrich themselves with gold.
What is interesting to me is the first thing that we saw was the last thing that the enslaved people would have seen, because that's when they got onto the ships and were taken away. This is my second time around. I don't remember seeing that hole. That was breathtaking. This is something that I don't think any of us could have possibly imagined. That's why it's so important that we see it.
It's hard to call it excitement. It was definitely interest and a curiosity towards it, but it's hard for me to feel excited to see where my ancestors struggled to go through the days. I'm happy I came, and I'm happy I know the experience and the story, but it's hard to say that I'm excited to be here. I've been loving Ghana, but the struggle is all here. I can see all the pain, and it can be hard to look at, but I need to look at it. I'd say you definitely need to experience it. I feel you need to experience the whole world in general, but everything you see about Africa and Ghana on the news is just a minute part of what it is. Country's beautiful, the people are great, and the history here is the true history, not what they're teaching you in schools and everything. This history is real and raw, and it hurts, but you can really learn something.
So I was saying that you hold on very tight to the rope and you try to hold the knots to enable you pull yourself up. Yes. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so you come this way. Okay, this way. All right, this way. It was when the ladies have their first menstruation. So they separate them from the older men in the community just to come here and train them for marriage. That was just the purpose, for marriage. Yes. Even now, they still do the Dipo rites, but it lasts for just a week. And they do them in their various communities. They don't come here.
So the tradition still carries on?
Yes, yes, it does.
So it's more like today, it's more like education or like?
Yes, education, training, personal hygiene.
That was a fantastic experience. Yeah, it's nice because I hike at home, and so this was kind of similar to what I normally do, which is great. I didn't have right shoes on, but that was okay. But it was just a great experience to climb up the rock and hold on to the ropes. It was very safe. I felt very comfortable doing that. But when you get to the top, it's an amazing view of the entire terrain and just shows you how green Africa actually is. Because I think us in America have a tendency to think that it's, dry and more desolate and things like that. But this is absolutely beautiful. It almost looks like a rainforest. It's so gorgeous. Senji to take a boat cruise, so come along with me.
And that just talk about the nightlife and talk about the food and talk about the shopping and talk about all of the other pieces of the puzzle that happened with Ghana and happened in Ghana. Those who've traveled with us, I see you in the comments. Appreciate all the comments. Folks from Egypt and Ghana have traveled with us to both destinations. And so we appreciate that. I will say this, because I know one of the questions is, you saw them moving around. And so for some people, like, I don't know if I can go because I'm not climbing up on that thing. Don't worry, you don't have to climb. You don't have to climb. You can say, hey, that's not for me. It's all right. Even if you have a cane, you can come. It doesn't matter. Come on and see that. Come to West Africa and see what's going on. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you this one last story. Miss Ann, she joined us in Egypt, and then she joined us in Ghana. And I want you to hear. 72 years old. 70, just listen to her story. If this doesn't inspire you to say, I got to go and do what I need to do, then nothing will. Nothing will, because Miss Ann's story is so powerful. Stick around. I'm going to tell you about a special offer we're going to give for those who are interested in joining us in either Egypt or Ghana. We have the special Benin Togo add-on. I'll share a very quick video about that, answer some questions, and then we're going to be done. But I cannot leave here without sharing Miss Ann's story with you. Take a listen.
To be, it's a real opportunity, the opportunity of a lifetime to be here on my first trip to Africa. My very first. I sincerely hope it will not be my last. I'm 72 years. It's an amazing opportunity, but I realized that for me to fully participate and be able to walk and do all of the walking and visit all of the pyramids and to visit the temples, I would have to be physically in better shape than I was. So I lost 32 pounds after I signed up. I started walking every day. My lab tests are phenomenal. My doctors at the lab actually wrote handwritten notes on it and said, "Girl, what are you doing? How do you do this? What's happening? It's better than it's ever been. We are so proud of you. Keep it up." It made me feel I'm not only competent to do this, but that I can do this. So I know that I can, and I have. I've walked all the way to the top of the pyramids and inside at Giza and the Great Pyramid, which was a challenge. You did have to walk uphill and bend over like this all part of the way, but it was worth it to say that I actually did that. You know, walking these distances is not an easy challenge, but if you prepare your body and prepare your mind and your spirit wants you to do it, don't miss out on this kind of opportunity for yourself. It will change your life in ways you never expected. It will make you realize what a magnificent heritage we have. Blessed to be.
Thank you so much, Miss Ann. And she, guess what, 32 pounds, going up, climbing inside the pyramid, blood work in order. And that was just the beginning for her. Now, she also had to deal with some folks who were like, "Why you want to go to Africa? What's going on over there?" Well, I'll let her tell the story.
Saying they were afraid to travel to Africa, and why did I want to do that? I was like, why wouldn't you want to? And I think people were worried too because of my age and that they felt I was traveling alone, that I wasn't going to Africa with a family member or a spouse. We're with, they have become my family and friends. They have helped me every step of the way. You know, I have a cane. They made sure that I was on level ground. They made sure that I didn't stumble. They made sure if I got tired, I had a place to sit. They watched out for me. If I was slower than everybody else, they still waited. They took care of me. These people have become my friends and family here in Africa. And for many of us, we are going to be neighbors and friends, I found out, back in the U.S. in a couple of years. I'm really excited about that because I'm going to be close to many of them and where they live now. So it's been an opportunity to make new friends from all over the United States. There's some people here from Canada, from all over the world, and it's the experience of a lifetime. You would not regret it if you took this opportunity for yourself. It's an investment in you. It's not an investment, you know, that you think of in terms of money. It's an investment in terms of knowledge and spirit and hope and love for what we are as a people. We're saying.
Thank you so much again, Miss Ann. Appreciate it. Now, guess what? She joined us in Egypt, and she also just joined us in Ghana. 72, she might be 73 now. But guess what? She's traveling the world. First time in Egypt, first time on the continent. Now she's with us in Ghana. And so listen to some of her words. The audio's a little muffled here, but really pay attention to what she's saying. Miss Ann in Ghana.
Okay, so Nana Akua, how would you describe your experience when we went to Kumasi for the renaming ceremony and then today here at Slave River?
For the first time at Kumasi, I felt like I had a name that was my real name. This was my name that I was supposed to always have had, not the name that I had because I was owned by someone or my parents were owned by someone, but because this is who I am. I'm a poor, I'm servile, and it means that I'm charitable, but I'm also obedient. I'm obedient to God, I'm obedient to my family and friends and community, and this just reinforced everything that I've always wanted to believe about us as a people, and it made me feel not only honored, but blessed.
Thank you. And then today here at Slave River, how did you feel walking in the footsteps of your ancestors?
That was such an emotional experience. And I'm not going to get emotional on doing this, but it really was. Just imagining, 700 miles of walking, shackled, naked, without food and water, barefoot, separated from everything you've loved, everyone you know, everything you've ever known, to go into the unknown where you don't know if you're going to live or die. I mean, that had to have been devastating. And as the tour guide was saying, many of our ancestors chose death over being a slave. And others chose to go on and eventually built lives. Some died as slaves, but because of them we are. And we can be even more because what they went through was, not what we think about as ourselves. We are those resilient, hopeful, prayerful, faithful, hardworking, caring, loving, brilliant people. And if we just hold on to what our ancestors taught us and what we learned through them, we can be better people and we can make this a better world.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Miss Ann, all right. Now, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, we're giving you highly produced videos. We are showing you what this can look like. And that's one of the reasons, again, we're not the cheap trip to Africa, because this is so much more. We're telling stories. We're giving us a voice where Hollywood would never give us these voices. We're creating our own space. And that's what we're doing. And so you can see it time and time again, transcending generations. So you're seeing young folks, you're seeing baby boomers, you're seeing millennials and Gen X, Generation X. You're seeing all of this happening because it's all relevant in different parts of the continent. If you were with us last night, you saw South Africa, you saw Kenya. If you're here tonight, you even saw the falls last night in Zimbabwe and Zambia. You see Egypt tonight. You see Ghana, and I'm going to show you a quick clip of Togo and Benin. Very important places. And so with that, this is so much more, and that's why so many people are joining us with Maximum Impact Travel, our travel partner, also with Urban Intellectuals. You begin to see how all of this works together, and we have to be responsible for telling these stories. Ghana is much more than a slavery story. It's a story of resilience and people overcoming, and the descendants of those from West Africa, whether it be Nigeria, what used to be known as the Slave Coast, and Benin and Togo, moving into Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, and going into Guinea, and then Liberia, what we know as Liberia, and Sierra Leone, Mali, Guinea-Bissau, Burkina Faso, all of these different places. You begin to understand the history and the stories and how deep this thing is. We do not descend from slaves. We descend from people who were enslaved, but many of those people who were enslaved were kings and queens. They were mothers, fathers, doctors, and what we would consider lawyers. They were human beings with stories. They were entrepreneurs. They were wealthy. They may not have been so wealthy. We descend from all of that, and that's why it's important for us to understand. So the narratives that we're told in the places we come from, we can dispel that, and that's why that's where the confidence comes from. Because it's like, wait a minute, you're not gonna tell me who I am. I know because I went to go see. You don't even need DNA when you get there and you start looking at folks and you look at them like, wait, you look like me. I look like you. Wow, look at this. This is familiar. How we move is familiar, even though our cultures are different. And even though in the world today, so many people want to say, well, we're not from there and you're not this and you're not that. Many of those people don't even go because they're afraid to see the truth. Those who go, they understand and say, wow, wait a minute. We all have a very similar story, whether you're in South America, whether you're in Central America, whether you're on the continent of Africa or the Caribbean, or even places in Europe, you begin to see this common theme that is with so many of us. So I'm gonna run this down quickly for you. Ghana, the experience. Guess what? You're gonna get a chance to do some shopping. Yes, you are. You're gonna get a chance to get some of the nightlife. Yes, you are. For those who are interested in the nightlife, it's more than a tour. It's a 5-sensory experience. And so it looks a little something like this. Day one, you're going to arrive in Accra, and that's where you're going to have the welcome dinner. And so the welcome dinner is going to be later on that evening at a location, a surprise location. Then day 2, you get the Accra City tour. You go to Jamestown. You go to Black Star Square. You go to the Nkrumah Mausoleum. You eat at a local restaurant. You get some good Ghanaian food. And the deal is that we mix it up. Vegans, vegetarians, you don't have to worry. The food is going to be fine. You're going to have 70% familiar food, so no worries with the food. Day 3, you're going to go to Kumasi and do the Ashanti naming ceremony. That's what you saw in the video. Then day 4, you get a chance to kind of relax a little bit after the day to Kumasi, catch a quick flight. You saw that in the video. Then you go to the Aburi Botanical Gardens. Then the next day you go to Asin Manso, which is also known as Slave River. You saw that in the video, and you get to go to Elmina Dungeon. Then the following day, on day 6, you're going to spend the night, and then you're going to go to Cape Coast Dungeon and Cocoon Canopy Park. Then the day after that, on day 7, you get a chance to do some shopping. Again, you get clothes made, get your hair braided, all that good stuff. We have all of that covered. And then you go to Shy Hills Reserve, and that's when you do the boat cruise you saw. And then on the final day, you depart. You head back to your location. You have the option. We have several options, and we're going to be offering the Marriott is what we're going to be moving forward when we move into 2025. The Marriott, and that's going to be our standard hotel. And then you'll have the upgrade option if you're interested, and or Marriott or comparable, I should say. And then the food in Ghana is spicy, but guess what? You can tell them to tone it down, so you don't have to worry about the food. Again, we make sure you get a nice sample, a variety of different places to go eat, and we're constantly adding new things to our itinerary. You get a chance to check out the ABA Design and Collections store boutique, as well as if you want to get your hair done, you can do that at the ABA Lux Hair Salon. You get a chance to be a part of that. And that's all coming up as a part of your Ghana experience. And again, all you have to do is go to MaximumImpactTravel.com, click on Ghana. You can see all of the details right there when you click on the location you want to go to. Now, here's the thing I was going to tell you about. This is what I want to tell everybody. Here is a special. If you want $300 off until March 1st, 2024, click the word Summit in the coupon section. It'll take $300 off. And so you can take advantage of that, and that takes $300 off. There you go. So when you go and you click, and the prices do differ by year, because the further out you go, the prices have increasing. That's why I say try to take advantage of it. And if you can do it in 2024, that'll be great, because the prices are going to be lower in 2024. But as 25 comes along and 26, and in particular Ghana, because Ghana is very popular right now. Ghana is very, very popular. And so take a look at the dates that you're interested in, because all dates and all prices are not the same. Demand for December in Ghana is through the roof. So that's just something to kind of put in your mental space, to let you know that if that's what you're looking for, then demand for Ghana is through the roof in December. And let me bring this up for you real quick so you can see it. For those who are interested, MaximumImpactTravel.com. All you do is click destinations when you go to the website again, and then you just scroll down, click on Ghana, and there you go. And it'll take you to give you all of the available trips, and you type the word Summit in, and that will take, here it is, 2024, 2025, 2026, and we're actually getting ready to release our 2027 dates. But this is what we have going on for Ghana. And again, if you are someone who wants to, let's say you want to go solo, you can go solo. You do not have to go with a group. You can go solo. Or if you want to bring your family and have a custom trip, you can do that as well. So we can accommodate all of that for you, and you will have a great time in Ghana. I can assure you of that. And for those who have been with us, they can tell you, you will definitely have a great time in Ghana. So let's see. Where do we go here? All right. I'm looking. All right. I have, let me see here. Technology has a funny way of acting, so I want to make sure we don't Let's do this right here. I want to make sure you all get this. There it is, right there. All right. So we're going to take you to one last place, and then we'll be done for the evening. We're going to take you to Togo and Benin. Take a look. Togo is a small country in West Africa. It is bordered by Ghana to the west and Burkina Faso to the north and Benin to the east. Although its official language is French, here you will find more than 20 languages spoken amongst 40 different ethnic groups. Its neighbor Benin is another small French-speaking country. But what these two countries lack in size, they make up for in their powerful history. Some estimates show that as many as 20% of African Americans have genetic ties to this area. Maximum Impact Travel will shed light on how this region is an important piece of the African diasporan puzzle. We will also curate a culinary experience that emphasizes the strong ties between this region's cuisine and what we collectively know as soul food. You will dine at some of Togo and Benin's most popular restaurants and partake in dishes that highlight how food greatly connects and shapes the experience of the African diaspora. You will also learn how this region managed to preserve their religious practices and beliefs even after European colonization and rule. From independence monuments to sacred forests to entire villages built upon stilts, Togo and Benin have so much in store. Experience it all with Maximum Impact Travel. Yes, indeedy. And so with Togo and Benin, those are offered as an add-on to Ghana. And since they're neighboring countries right next door, Togo is right next to Ghana and Benin is right next to Togo. And the interesting or the fascinating part about that area, especially Benin, if anybody's seen that documentary, High on the Hog, that's on Netflix, well, he was in Benin. And it talks about the similarities between the food that's in the east coast of the United States down in South Carolina and Georgia and what they prepare in Benin. A very, very interesting history. And we invite you to join us. And again, it's an add-on. This is an add-on. If you go to Ghana and you want to add Togo and Benin, you can do that. The Togo and Benin experience. And it's a very, it's definitely an indigenous experience. And it's something a lot of people love. And so that's something that you want to, just kind of keep in mind that, when you arrive in, you're going to go to Togo first. You're going to go to Independence Square. You have a chance to be a part of of the whole Togo experience. And then when you get to, in Togo, you get a chance to do the tour around Togo. And then you go to Benin the next day, Ouida. And this is when you go to what is their version of the Door of No Return. You see some of the remnants of what was happening there, as it was affectionately known, or not affectionately known, as the Slave Coast. But that is there in Ouida. And then you get a chance to see that huge statue. There's a huge statue there in Ouida and right there in Benin. It's really, actually, Ouida is one of my favorite cities when you get there. It's really, really nice. Then you go to the Gambi village, and this is the stilt village. You catch a boat, and you go out and see how the people live on the water. And an interesting story about this is that it is believed that the reason why they live there is because this is how they were able to escape slavery, by living on the water. So that's a very, very interesting account of what occurred. And so then after that, on day 5, again, we're going to have a chance to eat, spend some time within the culture. You go to the sacred forest, you go to all of these different places and see that side of things. Now, this is the part of the world where everybody say you don't go. But I will tell you like this, when you get there and you start to see certain things, you say, who's been telling this story? That's why I say a lot of the hidden treasures and hidden gems are right there in West Africa. So after that, day 6, you depart, you go back to Accra. That's why I say it's an add-on. Or if you want to fly in, you can fly in to Togo and Benin, and you can do it like that. Go back to Lomé, however you want to do it, you can do it. And then that way you are able to have that experience. Just to let you know, when it comes to Ghana and when it comes to Togo and Benin, breakfast is included. But lunch and dinner are not. So just to let you know, this is with Ghana and Togo and Benin. and international airfare, again, is not included in this experience, but you get a chance to go to some of the finest restaurants and have some of the finest experiences there in Ghana and Togo and Benin. For children under 5, they're free if they sleep in their parents' room, and airfare is based on the airline requirements for going to Kumasi. And so just to let you know that as well. Planning for your trip, you're going to need a passport that does not expire within 6 months. You want to make sure you have the passport book. Ghana, you will need a visa. Yes, you will. We'll walk you through the process, the Ghana visa process. You'll also need a visa for Togo and Benin for those who are interested in going, and we'll walk you through that process as well. But if you are interested, again, go to MaximumImpactTravel.com and take advantage. This is what I want to encourage everybody to do. Take advantage of the $300 off until March 1st, 2024. 2024, you can take advantage of the $300 off. And again, this is something that I am truly, truly inspired by. Wow, y'all still sticking around. Y'all must be into this. I think you all can tell from the videos that we've shared, the stories we've shared. There's so much. I have so much content I could share with you, but obviously we only have a limited amount of time. I wish I could, for those who travel with me, y'all know how I roll. You know how it is. I am so excited every time I see and hear. I mean, they're sending me pictures and videos of people right now. They're like, this is what we're doing. We just went to the Sky Bar. We went here. We went here. We did that. I'm like, wow. I said, look at this. Look at this. And I appreciate everyone who's already traveled with us. When you bring your family and friends, this is it's a labor of love for me, because I know and I understand what we've been taught. So what I would hope is that you would be like Miss Ann, or you would be like my man Elliot, who came to Ghana with us back in October 2021. That's right. I remember the dates. That's what's everybody's family. If you bring your family and friends, for those who are affiliates, share with your family and friends. Nobody's going to do this for us. Even when we open the Maximum Impact Success Academy, you'll have a chance to be an affiliate with that. And one, I'm big on entrepreneurship. I'm big on collaboration. I'm big on economic empowerment and development across the board. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. And so I ran a summer camp for 12 years. So I know what it's like to organize people. I know what it's like as children. I know what it's like to organize children. How about that? We had 12 years, very successful. People still want us to come back with Life Camp. But Maximum Impact Travel is what we're doing now. It is the most rewarding and most fulfilling thing that I've done. And it's because of people like you. It's because of those of you who've traveled with us. Even if I've never met you personally, I know I'm connected to you because of the people on the ground, and they share the stories with me. So for those who I have met, I'm connected to you. You know it. People can text me all, hey, what's going on, Jay? How you doing? They'll send me a message on YouTube. So now let's solidify this. Where you going? Going to Egypt? You're going to Ghana? You're going to Togo? You're going to Benin? Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so let's see. There you go. There you go, Lisa. All you have to do is coupon code, type Summit in, and that's where it will come up when you go. Let me go right back here, and there's so many questions that are answered there, and you can reach out to us if you have additional questions, and I'm going to type this in the chat for you. info@MaximumImpactTravel.com. There you go. Any questions that I might not answer, you can definitely send those in, and our team is waiting for you. I'm ready. You know what? I'm so excited because we have Soul of the African Diaspora coming up. That's going to be our new show that's coming on the channel. We're going to keep sharing more and more. If I could tell you how much content I have from these different countries, from Benin, I have content. From Togo, I have content. So y'all know I got documentaries for Ghana. That's what's going on. And again, I thank you. And so let's make it happen. Take advantage of it. If you need more time, you can come in 2026. If you're ready to make the move now, come in 2024. We are constantly adding new things to our itinerary. We make sure that you get to some of the best boutiques in Ghana. For those who like to shop, we take you to ABA Boutique. We take you to Kua Boutique. We make sure that you have that option. Again, for those who want to get their hair braided, you can do that. For those who want to hang out in the nightlife, we got that. You got Exhale Lounge, you have Bloom Bar, you have Sky Bar. So you have all these different options. And then for those who want to get a little bit of beach activity in there, even though Ghana doesn't have the best beaches in the world, I'm not going to say it in there. You notice I didn't spend a whole lot of time talking about the beaches in Ghana. I did not do that. And I'm not going to lead you down the wrong path. But if you do want to get your feet wet, you can do that. But if you want the beaches, let's go to Kenya and Tanzania and Zanzibar. We can work that out for you, or down in South Africa. And even in Egypt, you have some nice beaches up that way as well. But with all of this said, let's go ahead, sign up. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. What are we talking about tomorrow? Well, let's see what we have on tap. Oh, we're going to talk about Tanzania, Zanzibar, and Ethiopia tomorrow. That's what's going to be happening tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to that because we have folks already getting ready to go to Ethiopia. Yes, we go to Ethiopia. Very fascinating place, and you'll enjoy it as well. And, of course, Tanzania. I did a full documentary about it. And Tanzania and Zanzibar, as a matter of fact, Zanzibar is a part of Tanzania. So just to let you know that it is a part of that country. And so we want to make sure, let me see, there we go. Okay. So we want to make sure that for those who are interested in going there, all you have to do is join us tomorrow night. We'll be back here as a part of this summit. And the summit is really designed to offer more insight into these places. So it's not necessarily like a sales like a info session so you can go on the trip. It's really about educating and taking you inside of the trip with the offer for you to be able to be a part of the travel experience if you would like to be. So with that said, I want to thank everybody for joining. If we did not answer your questions tonight, make sure that you send us the email at info@maximumimpacttravel.com. All you have to do is go to our website and we'll be sure to make sure to answer your questions. Our team is available to make sure you get your questions answered. And again, info@maximumimpacttravel.com. I want to thank you for joining us. See you tomorrow night as we continue Tanzania, Zanzibar, Ethiopia, right here for the Travel Summit brought to you by Maximum Impact Travel. Growing up in America as a black man is one of the most difficult things that you can do. For more than 500 years, there's been an intentional effort to separate those who descend from the continent of Africa from the continent of Africa. Through education, finances, religion, culture, this divide has spread throughout the world.
The educational system is the greatest propagator of that and the greatest poisoner of the minds, not only of African people who have a negative image of themselves, but non-African people who have a negative image of African people.
The American system was created so they can have workers. There is a story that's been sold to the rest of the world about Africa.
It's fed both ways. They're feeding us, oh, they're living in villages with big bellies and flies, and they're feeding, oh, they're just rappers and they're killing each other. And
it's bad that we have so many Europeans now visiting Africa than actually our own black people. Again, information, those Europeans, they know about Africa, but our own people in the United States, for example, do not know about Africa.
It hurts me so much to hear that we sold them into slavery. And so when I'm here and they come, there I say the devil is a liar. Why? Because, they will know the truth.
They try to kill my soul. Don't want to see me
46-year-old George Floyd was choked by a cop digging
but
into
still I'm unstoppable. Still I'm unstoppable.
I had to make a decision to understand the truth, to understand the information that perhaps someone did not want me to know. What it began for me was a journey and a search for the truth to create a different legacy for my children. Education is so important, and knowing the history beyond what they teach us in the U.S., and they didn't teach me much of anything. That's why I apologize to you and your brothers for putting y'all in that school system, because it wasn't right.
I want young people to see out in the U.S. and these places, right? I really want them to begin to grow up seeing Africa as central to their future, as central to their opportunities, as central to their safety, as central to their being.
And let them know that this is who you are, be proud of who you are, and embrace it all.
Every agenda that's been pushed on us, it's time to destroy that and create our own narrative as people of color, as diasporans, and as the new Africans.
People need to see the world. They need to get on a plane, get in a car, go outside of your comfort zone, because when you go somewhere else, you understand people more. You can be more empathetic in certain situations because you know where they're coming from, and you can learn about yourself.
When I see my brothers from the diaspora come, it warms my heart so much. It makes me so happy.
And when you come here, it's not just a slavery story, it's when we were kings and still are kings.
As long as Africa is disrespected, we cannot enjoy our full potential as an individual of African descent until Africa itself is respected.
When I came to Ghana and discovered how much I was not taught, I realized the importance of educating myself. This is where it all began. This is where my life changed. This is where I began to discover who I was. And I want to take you on that journey with me.